can't lose. No, we can't lose.
Enjoy it while it lasts. Gambling gods, fickle bunch. Oh, yeah. So easily
We
affected.
have a shooter and a good one coming out for a new point. Get your bets down, ladies and gentlemen. He's a rolling point is 9, place 9. 9 a winner. Got a hot hand. Place your bets, ladies and gentlemen.
They bet on absolutely anything. Don't make them prove it.
And we're going to start at number 5, Melvin Gordon.
Melvin Gordon, yeah.
Melvin Gordon gets a shout out here. You know why?
He's a fantasy football Hall of Famer.
For not living up to expectations.
Yeah, that was my thought.
You're tuned in to Gambling with Good JuJu.
Welcome in, everybody, to Gambling with Good JuJu. I'm your host, Peter. With me today is Ryan, and a very tired of my intro look on his face, Kurt. You got something to say there, bud?
I don't like.
What are you, sick of me saying welcome in, everybody?
No.
I just love looking in your eyes when you say it.
I feel
'Cause
good.
You get so excited.
I get really excited to say it. I like it. All right, welcome in, everybody. If you haven't liked, subscribe, and follow us on the socials at Good JuJu Bets. Give us a follow, and also, what is it? Our
GoodJuJuBets.net.
GoodJuJuBets.net. You can check out everything there as
Bingo.
well. All right. Quick update on the show for everybody. We had talked about having John Hyslop on the last couple of weeks. Unfortunately, due to some scheduling conflicts, we weren't able to make that happen. Such is life, but we appreciate the consideration, and hopefully we're able to get him on at some point in the near future.
I certainly hope so.
No kidding. Especially if you get his flag.
Yeah, to hang in my office, that'll do it.
That'll do it.
I'll order it. I'll put it on the tweet, and then
Yes.
all of a sudden he's be like, "I need to meet this guy because he's so awesome."
I love
he's like
that
basically me.
you messaged him on Twitter asking him how to get the flag.
He's just like, piss off.
Oh, the internet.
Yeah, make it yourself.
Were you under the assumption John Hyslop sent that guy that flag?
I was under the assumption that I don't know whose room that is.
That is some college kid who took a tweet, screenshotted it, put it on an image of a flag, and then posted it.
God bless him.
God bless him.
So, anyways, moving on.
We got to get that guy on the show.
Right.
We've put together a fun conversation today. We're going to recap our squad ride from last week and give out another pick since it was such a success.
Well, yeah, one.
It won.
Yeah.
Easy.
How about that? We're 1-0, baby.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
You just gave away half that conversation, Kurt.
Oh, well.
No, we're going to cover some great stuff there.
Our fans know that Hawaii easily covered 17.5.
Because they bet it.
Because they bet it.
We have 5 straight days of college football coming up this weekend. We're going to talk a little bit about the games that matter most and the ones that look like they might be worth watching, because guess what? There's a lot of games, and I only got a few games worth watching here, so...
I heard it was going to be like that the first couple weeks.
Yeah, it's always like
gonna
that
be
until you
bad.
get into conference season. But there's still a lot to follow because there's a lot of action. And
5 days.
5 straight days. We go Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday.
I tell you what, I couldn't make it through the Navy Notre Dame game.
That was awful.
I don't blame anyone who got halfway through that game and said, well, that's enough college football for the year.
That was me.
Navy had to kick a field goal in the last minute just to avoid getting skunked.
Yeah.
It was not pretty. Anyway,
Maybe next year, maybe.
we're going to break down some of the games looking forward to this week, and then we're going to also talk through, it was NFL Cut Day. Look back at some of the names leaving NFL teams that I don't know how we feel about it, but they're fun to talk about. And then Kurt's going to give us his top 5 still available NFL player props for the NFL season. So these are lines that are still available that you can get out there, and he's posting his full sheet. You can get a look at that as well. It'll be out there on Twitter before this episode goes live. Correct, Kurt?
Yes, sir.
Sweet.
All right, so let's get in it. First of all, squad ride hit, boys. Spoiler.
Yeah, I got to say, I think it was the only bet I won
So
on Saturday.
That's bad.
Saturday went poorly for me. I was sitting on a very bad situation going into that Hawaii game, and I went 3 for 3, including Hawaii first half, Hawaii full game, and over on the total.
Look at you.
What was that, like a desperation?
They were all plays given to me either through promos or something I agreed I was going to do in
neat.
my head beforehand. So,
Oh, good for you.
you know, I played the Thunderdome picks on Friday that come out from High Slop, and it was Lucille Burge and Matt Downs. Someone like that.
Okay.
And so I played those picks, and that's how I got the Hawaii total. It was actually an alt total plus 136 line. That
Neat.
hit, so that was great. And then the Hawaii first half was a plus EV promo play that was recommended because of the book and the line. So I took it.
Okay.
So where did it go wrong?
Well, I want to know, did you watch the Hawaii game?
So every game, real quick here to answer Kurt's question.
Okay, sorry, yeah.
Every game that I played like a month ago, lost. Where we get all the CLV. Every game where I had CLV, lost.
Yeah. Wow.
The games that won were games that you could still get action on leading up to the start of the game.
Well, what did we learn? CLV doesn't matter.
Well, these were also quality plays from reliable touts. And it's just the small sample size. I mean, come on.
Obviously.
You have one bad day, it doesn't really matter. But the real problem was just I never got going. So I had multiple bets on most of these games because of things that just kept coming through. And it was like I'd go 0-1 on one game. I'd go 1-1 on another. I'd go 0-2. I'd go 1-2. But Hawaii Vanderbilt brought me back to a reasonable number.
That's awesome.
Reasonable plays. It was just fun to watch all the action. Hawaii Vanderbilt also getting delayed. Shout out to that. Made it a later night game for me, and I like sitting up and watching those games. So that was fun.
It was on TV.
Yeah, on the SEC network.
Neat.
Juice, how'd you do?
I won one bet.
That's
I
it?
lost the rest of them.
Oh, okay.
How many did you have?
I don't know, a handful.
Oh, yeah, because
Maybe.
you had to play all the promos on DK, right? The 100% boost and the 50% boost.
Oh, yeah, of
and
course. I put all of
right.
those on Navy.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
I put mine on Navy as well.
Don't forget, I don't
my
get the same size boosts as you. So
That's true. That's
yeah.
true.
They were like $5 and $10.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Audience, I got the $50.
I didn't rip 500 beans on Navy plus 21.
Okay. That's the first thing I thought in my head when you said that. I'm like, oh my God.
I mean,
Yeah,
don't forget, this was the guy who was trying to sow dissent within our pick for last week by trying to claim Navy at the bell of the last episode.
Yeah.
True story.
Right.
Don't forget, Navy might win. Hawaii might lose.
Somebody on the Thunderdome, one of the guys on the Thunderdome said, no way Navy loses this game by 18 points.
Yeah. I mean, it was pretty much a gambling Twitter consensus.
Yeah, it was a lock of the century. That lost by 40.
It's so close.
It turns out you give Notre Dame a quarterback, and what happens?
Oh, they're
Yeah.
good.
I mean,
Yeah.
Give him a really good quarterback.
Shout out Sam Hartman and an adult.
you get him a quarterback that's
It's
played at the
sixth
college
year.
level
Yeah.
for 32 years. He's going to be all right.
Yeah, he looked amazing.
Yeah, I loved all the Sam Hartman stats that they were showing on the television.
You also have him in our Dynasty football league.
which
so
is
you're kind of
really
excited.
neat. Yeah,
That
I
is
almost sent out a text message like, "Okay, who wants Sam Hartman?" I absolutely do not believe in him to be a whatever. What do I know?
Right. He's been in college 6 years. He's obviously not that big of a pro caliber quarterback.
Exactly. He's obviously not going to win the Heisman.
That's
Heisman
great.
doesn't even matter. Quarterbacks win the Heisman all the time and then don't get drafted.
Right.
So what do we got to look forward to this week?
All right. Well, first of all, real quick, a big thank you once again to Joey Tunes too, giving us that play, and giving us that W.
Thank you for my one win.
Give him a follow. We got a winner in the winner's circle, so now we're moved up 1-0 after week 0. So now we move to week 1, and we're already 1-0. And so for this week's capper, we're gonna go with Johnny the Greek. You can find him at Greek Gambler or on Wager Talk. His pick was Central Michigan plus 14.5. You can get it minus 12 on DK right now, which you can't hear right now.
Hopefully by the time we post, it'll still be available.
Right. So we
So,
get
yeah.
that out there. And Central Michigan, did he have any commentary on it, RJ? that
Didn't
you
read
might
any of that.
remember? Didn't read
Yeah.
the commentary. We're just going to go with Johnny the Greek. Good JuJu Squad Ride.
Damn,
Anyway.
Gianni. Gianni the
So
Greek.
here's what we have to look forward to heading into this weekend. So as I had mentioned, we've got 5 straight days of college football.
That sounds exhausting.
Now, we've got smaller slates on every day but Saturday. The slates aren't very big.
When
But
does it start?
Starts on Thursday.
Okay.
And we've got we're gonna skip the first matchup. I think we had like NC State and UConn or whatever, but there is a conference game taking place at the start of week 1. That felt surprising to me. It is a Big Ten game, Nebraska versus Minnesota.
Go Minnesota.
They are a 7-point favorite.
Go Minnesota. Perfect.
Oh, okay.
I just got that Nebraska under 6.5 wins on the season.
Oh, wow. Look at you.
Well, I've been watching a little Brad Powers and his
Shut up, Brad Powers.
friend show.
But do you have Colorado under 3.5 wins? It was 5.5. He moved it all the way down to 3.5, I believe.
Did he really?
Yeah.
God, I played that Bet Brewers promo over 5.5.
Minus 100% TV.
More exciting than Nebraska, Minnesota. We have Florida versus Utah. That features a 4-point favorite for Utah, I believe, against Florida. That's going to be a really good game on Thursday night.
It is not. Joey Toons just tweeted out that Cam Rising's not playing in that game.
I know. So now people are talking about taking Florida at plus money. You can still get Florida at plus money.
That's why.
Yeah, I think didn't CC put it out for plus 255, right?
Yeah, it was plus 180 when I just checked before the episode started.
So maybe it is going to be a good game because now it's what you're telling me is so Florida's not that good, is what you're telling me.
I mean, Utah was it Utah in the playoffs last year? Utah's one of the best programs out there.
Yeah, they did get smoked though by Penn State, right?
Moving on. Friday, we have another conference matchup game, Louisville versus Georgia Tech, this time from the ACC. We also have our big Stanford-Hawaii matchup, so we get to cheer on those Rainbow Warriors again, unless we want to cheer for Stanford because we're kind of cheering for those teams that got left behind by the Pac-12. I don't know. We got 2 underdogs there.
I'm not cheering for those teams.
two underdogs here to cheer for. The thing I like about that game doesn't kick off until 10 o'clock Central. So we got late night football there on Friday. And then we've got Central Michigan State game as well on Friday. So I'll be looking forward to watching that and seeing if our squad ride pays off.
Let's hope so.
Saturday's our big day. So that's the day when most teams play this weekend. Here's the thing. You have to go until like 6:30 in the evening to find a good game. Like everyone who plays in the morning and in the afternoon, we're talking like 20-plus point spreads.
Oh,
everywhere.
baby.
Gross.
God, I can't wait till FanDuel gives me a parlay boost. And I'm just going to pick some randos.
Yeah.
Right. It'll be fun. It'll be
so
a
much
great
fun.
day. So we do have North Carolina, South Carolina that night. That should be a pretty good game. We've also got Toledo, Illinois, which is less than a 10-point spread that I'm excited for. And early in the morning, we got Fresno State, Purdue, which also features a pretty close line. But in terms of good games, there's not very much out there.
Well, week 1.
Then we'll just wrap things up here real quick. Sunday, we've got Northwestern Rutgers and another Big Ten Conference game for some reason, and Louisiana State versus Florida State. LSU, FSU. That's the big one.
Yeah, close
sounds-
spread on that. I believe
that
it's
sounds great.
2.5 right now.
So what you're telling me is
That's the one good game of the whole week. 2, we got Florida, Utah, and we have LSU, Florida State. Real quick, just to finish this up, Monday, Clemson, Duke. That's another double-digit spread. So we have 2 good games this weekend. We have Florida, Utah, and we have LSU, Florida State.
Well, I'll have the TVs on while I sweep the floor of the garage.
so I should expect a boost on Thursday, a boost on Friday, a boost on Saturday, a boost on Sunday, and a boost on Monday.
You should expect a boost on Saturday, Sunday. You might get them every day. In some way or other. You might get one every day.
I assume that Monday night game will be a primetime game on ESPN.
That'll definitely get you a boost.
Yep, sweet. I like it.
So that's just a quick rundown of what's coming up in the college football season or this week.
Did anybody get upset in week 0? I don't think so, right?
Week 0 stunk.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, week 1's headed for stinkage as well.
Thank you,
Like,
NCAA.
you guys sat here and watched me find all these games that I just wrote down.
Yeah.
And that's all of them, and there are some reaches on this list. Like, I'm ready for October football when it actually means something.
Illinois. Yeah, you're excited to watch Illinois, right?
Yeah, no matter who they play.
Yeah. Let's talk about our main topic. The college football is fine. I'm ready for it to get into the
It
point
is so
where it
fine.
matters. So,
But the professionals are going to start playing. Is that what we're going to talk about?
yeah, we had cut day in the NFL
Cut
this week.
day.
So we had an entire discussion for about 15 minutes about surprise cuts.
All right.
And-
Well,
I immediately hold on. None of it.
don't give away the list.
Okay, I won't give away the list. So there was a certain player that got cut today that I thought was a pretty big deal.
And neither of us did.
And neither RJ or Breezy did.
So let's go through this. These are our top 5 made up people we were surprised got cut, but we weren't surprised because we didn't even know they were on NFL rosters to begin with. And we're going to start at number 5, Melvin Gordon.
Melvin Gordon, yeah.
Melvin Gordon gets a shout out here. You know why?
He's a fantasy football Hall of Famer.
For not living up to expectations.
Yeah, that was my thought.
So I'm glad that I won't be tempted to pick Melvin Gordon up and play him at some point.
Who cut him? The Broncos?
Who cares? Yes,
Yeah.
Broncos.
In the Ravens.
Ravens?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
In the
See,
17th round, you won't have to draft Melvin Gordon.
I don't have to draft Melvin Gordon. Number 4, Cole Beasley.
Cole Beasley.
Beasley.
Yeah.
Scrawny Cole Beasley. Was he Cole Beasley or was he Danny Amendola? I never actually knew the difference.
It's true.
Cut by Dallas?
The Giants.
The Giants. Okay.
This
I'm gonna
is
guess.
great.
I'm gonna guess what
you
team they
guess
got cut by.
every single one, and we'll see if you get it. Because let me tell you, Cole Beasley is. I'm just glad that that's another player I don't have to be tempted to play.
That's
in
interesting.
fantasy.
Cut by the Giants, who have 0 wide receivers other than Darren Waller.
I mean, they got Darius Slayton.
Darius Slayton. Okay.
I'm trying to think.
Yeah.
Is Sterling Shepard still catching
Yeah,
balls for him?
sure is.
There
He
you
made
go.
the team.
Wandale Robinson. He was the rookie last year.
Oh, I'm sure he made the team. That sounds familiar. Yeah.
Well, I'm not gonna be targeting Daniel Jones in my fantasy football drafts.
Yeah. So
Don't worry, I got him for you. Number 3, Colt McCoy. We thought he might be the starter in Arizona, and it turns out, nope, he's gone.
He gone.
Yeah.
He's gone. Texas legend.
So now who's starting? Does anybody know?
They had to go young, right? I mean, you can't run out 37-year-old
Did they
Colt McCoy.
Are they trying to lose?
Yeah, of course.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Number 2. Number 2, and this is our contentious pick, where Kurt thinks this is the most important, but RJ and I obviously shout him down to the number 1 obvious player. Bailey Zappi. Apparently that sparked debate in this room. Why do you think Bailey Zappi was such a big deal that he got cut?
Well, he was the Patriots' 4th round pick last year, and he came in when Mac Jones was absolutely awful, playing terrible football, and he lit it up there for quite a few games where he was really, really successful, and then
2.
he got hurt.
2. You said a lot of games.
He started to.
He started to. He came in at halftime, right?
Yeah, I think he came in and then it was like, who's this guy? Right?
Yeah.
And then he played well in the next game, and then he played well again.
Yeah.
I want to say Washington State. Bailey Zappi came from.
We'll fact check that.
Don't quote me.
No way.
So that's a pretty big deal, right? Since teams are always pivoting to these younger quarterbacks on rookie contracts, get them really cheap, get a guy in there, right? So when you cut a 2022 4th round pick who has NFL game action, who has played well in a small sample size, and then the Patriots cut him when they only keep Mac Jones as their only quarterback.
That's the crazy part of this story. That's the part where I actually got interested. Mac Jones is the only. What happens? Why would you not have a meaningful backup quarterback?
I don't know.
Belichick knows what he's doing.
You
He's no
think?
dummy. He's going to sign someone.
Tom Brady knew what he was doing.
He's going to sign somebody, or Zappi's going to be on the practice squad or something.
Something like that, yeah.
My favorite part of this whole thing was that you said, Bailey Zappi got cut. And RJ just goes, who?
What position does that person play?
What is a Bailey Zappi exactly?
Yep.
Yeah, I hear you.
So now I feel like I'm a little more informed, so thank you.
Well, it was just a small
was a
blip
Yeah.
in the NFL season last year where he kind of lit it up
I bet he was the most important topic of conversation for 14 days for daily fantasy sports.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was kind of like the next Brady for about 5 seconds.
Looks great. All right, number 1.
So the whole world might be excited or interested in the fact that Bailey Zappi is no longer on an NFL roster, but no one can deny universally beloved, number 1, the release of punter Pat O'Donnell. Poor little out. Respect to one of the best punters to ever don a Bears uniform.
And maybe a Packers uniform.
Oh, is that who cut him? The Packers?
The Packers cut him.
Good.
Was he good when he was on the Packers?
I think he was terrible when he was on the Bears, right?
I was going to say, question. Was he good when he was on the Bears?
Bears.
I don't think
Wasn't he our punter forever?
Yeah, years.
Yeah.
He couldn't have been that bad. They're easily replaceable.
Absolutely. So he wasn't awful. Good glue guy in the locker room, probably.
Oh, yeah.
You know what my whole takeaway from this whole exercise where we looked up and tried to find all the names that were interesting and relevant on the NFL player cut list? Everyone who got cut deserves it.
There weren't any.
Yeah. I mean, okay, we can argue whether or not Bailey Zappi deserves to be cut, but when your name evokes chubby checkers instead of football, you've got a problem.
All right, so I did go through the Bears who made the team, and it was interesting. Mercedes Lewis was on the team, which was surprising.
Did anyone look up what year he came into the league?
Oh, neat.
Oh, 2003.
Really? Did you look it up?
That's my guess.
Oh, okay. It's like with
It's
conviction.
going to be
I know. I was on it, right? I was like 2003.
Mercedes.
I have no idea. Probably like 2005 or something like that.
2006, Jacksonville Jaguars, first round.
That is when Mercedes Lewis was drafted. So it's been 17 years
Wow.
that Mercedes
Incredible
Lewis has been in
career.
her career.
That guy must block great or something.
I bet he does.
More surprising to you, Mercedes Lewis making a roster this year or DeMar Hamlin making a roster this year?
Oh, Mercedes Lewis for sure.
Oh, DeMar Hamlin for sure.
I'm more surprised that the dude that almost died on the
Yes.
football field less
Did
than a year
die.
ago
He did die.
He did die.
is on a football field and making the team at this point this
Yeah.
year. That is just shocking to me.
Incredible.
We
I
just
mean-
saw Tom Brady, so I kind of get the Mercedes Lewis thing. The DeMar Hamlin thing is, I saw the name, I saw the article, I was completely shocked.
Yeah.
Yeah, good for him.
Especially,
That's
how many tight ends does the Bears keep? 3?
3, yeah.
Okay. So he's, what, their third tight end?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, Komet, Tanyan, Mercedes
They have
Lewis.
They have Tanyan?
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Stud.
Right?
So the other side of the coin that we wanted to discuss with all this is taking a look at the player prop market and seeing what we've got moving into this season. And our good friend Curtis here is going to be releasing tonight his full sheet of player props. And what is your current player prop total at, Kurt?
25.
25 season-long player props.
25 season-long player props. RJ, what's your number at?
2.
2 season-long player props. I will tell you, my number is at 0.
Zero.
player
Not a
props.
1. Good for you.
If I do, it was a promo thing or something that's not even
Sure.
tracked as
Yeah.
a bet for me. So, yeah. So, Kurt, you're sitting on 25 player props. Now, can you tell me, are most of those player props overs?
They're all overs. All of them.
Every single once and over.
You didn't place a
Every-
single under.
Nope.
You
I can't wait to see how this goes.
with MLB, did you play unders?
Nope.
Everything you played in MLB, you
Wow.
played
Everything
overs.
was over.
And
Wow,
you
wow,
crushed
wow.
it?
I am going to crush them.
That's fantastic.
Now, did you do this exercise last year with football?
I did not. Just baseball. Both years.
Okay.
So now I'm moving into football.
And you're using the same tool, correct, yourself? You use Cardi even for the football side of things?
I use Cardi, I use Fantasy Pros, other fantasy sites just to get projection ideas of kind of where the consensus is.
Okay.
And then along with his model.
So check out Derek Cardi if you do get a chance. He's got a lot of great information out there. I know, Kurt, you've mentioned before you think he's one of the smartest minds out there.
Absolutely.
So that's really cool. And then you said you're using Fantasy Pro, so you're just using general, like, season-long fantasy
Yeah.
numbers?
Because isn't that what player props are for an entire season?
Yeah.
Just fantasy projections.
Yep.
Right?
How many games will they play?
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, that's the thing that I'm most worried about, right? Injuries.
That's the thing that worries me for you.
Injuries.
25 bets that none of these players are going to get hurt.
Yeah, right. I know.
Okay. Well,
We'll
that's awesome. So what we wanted to do today was just kind of take a look at Kurt's top five still available NFL player props and give a little explanation, a little rationale behind those. You sound good with that?
Absolutely.
All right. So all these numbers, we double checked them before we went on the air. All these numbers should still be widely available.
Yeah.
So let's give this a go. Number 5, we have DK Metcalf over 900 receiving yards. You can get that minus 110 on DK. Curtis, give us an idea why.
Oh, what's not to like about DK Metcalf this year? So they bring in the rookie wide receiver. They've got Tyler Lockett there as well. But this is going to open up a lot of one-on-ones for Metcalf, who, as we all know, is a dominating force, right? A lot of people are still high on Geno Smith.
Yeah.
Right?
I dig him.
We've got a little bit of an easier schedule this year, and the 900 yards is a really good number. Most books are at 950. A couple of them are at 975. So
Interesting.
getting a nice discount there for DK.
Getting DK on 900 at DraftKings. You can find that number.
DK on DK.
DK on DK.
So yeah,
Over
50 yards. I might bet that one.
900
That's a pretty good number.
yards.
That's a pretty good number, right, for DK? 900 yards.
Seems doable.
I like it. You're saying that the addition of Jackson Smith and Jigba is
Is
a
that how you
help,
say it? Yeah.
not a hindrance?
No, he'll take over the slot probably, and that's just going to free up more space on the outside for Metcalf.
All right, we got DK Metcalf, number 5. Number 4.
You got to hit the button every time.
Oh, you know I am.
I love
Number
it.
4, we have Mike Williams over 799 receiving yards. You can get this at minus 110 on BetMGM.
So this one is scary, right?
Hell yeah.
This is probably the scariest prop I have.
900, 800 yards?
800 yards from Mike Williams,
Ooh,
right?
baby.
So we all know Mike Williams has all the potential in the world, right?
Sure.
All the potential. Like, he's got a chance to be a top 7-10 wide receiver in the NFL, right?
Yeah.
It's just a matter of fact that guy gets hurt almost every single year.
Yeah.
Right? And so it's like, well, why are you betting a guy that's constantly not playing a lot of games?
Yeah.
And you look at all the additions that they've made, right? So they still have Keenan Allen. They drafted Quentin Jefferson, right?
Yeah.
He's trying to talk us into the over here,
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen.
I'm
Keep
just
going.
Yeah, keep going.
Right. So
And Austin Eckler.
and Austin Eckler.
Right.
But here's the thing. Mike Williams hit this last year,
Yeah.
and he's hit it, I think he's hit it 2 out of the 3 years.
Wow.
So it's a low number for him.
Okay.
Right.
But has he also taken up jiu-jitsu like Tua to avoid falling better?
Excuse me.
Right.
Did you not know about this? No, Tua has solved his concussion problems. It's jiu-jitsu.
Did he really?
Yeah.
That's incredible. So Mike Williams is just flat out a big play wide receiver, right?
Yeah.
So he's going to get looks. Herbert's going to throw for 4,500 yards,
Right.
and they're not going to all go to Keenan Allen and
Right.
Austin Eckler, right? So he's going to get his targets. It's just a matter of, can he play 15 games this year?
Yeah, and can Keenan Allen stay healthy too? Right?
Sure,
Same
absolutely.
issue there. Right?
But if Mike Williams plays, he's going to smoke that total.
Interesting. Well, you haven't talked me into that one yet, but
Oh, yeah, it's a risky one.
it's a risky. It's a lot of yards.
And is that a substantial edge on BetMGM relative to other books, or is that line pretty widely available?
I think Mike Williams is around 825.5, so you get a 25-yard discount there on MGM.
Awesome. Okay. Number 3, we've got Brandon Cooks over 725 receiving yards. You can get it minus 112 on FanDuel.
Brandon Cooks.
Yeah. Old reliable, right?
Old reliable. I am a huge Brandon Cooks fan because everyone doesn't like him in fantasy football, and he's pretty neat.
He is, isn't he? So I believe he is. I looked this up the other day. He has hit this over 725-yard mark every single year of his career, but one, when he tore, like, he had a significant knee injury, right?
Yeah.
So every year he's just been consistent. 900 yards, 1,100 yards, 1,200 yards, 900 yards. I mean, he's just like a robot, right?
And now he's in Dallas.
And now he's in Dallas, and now he's got CeeDee Lamb to help out, right? And then he's also got Michael Gallup as a third wideout too. They've got the run game. He's got a decent quarterback. They're
Yeah.
gonna put up points.
Yeah.
What's not to love about Brandon Cooks this year? Love Brandon Cooks, and it's such a low number. He might blow this out of the water by week 11.
Yeah, that's interesting. I like this one, maybe the best so far.
Yeah, it's a good total. It's a really good total. And a couple of the books have him at 800.
Wow, what's this?
Yeah, 725.
On what? It's one of the weird ones. Yeah.
You can get this on FanDuel.
It's on FanDuel.
On FanDuel, it's 725.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me take a note.
I think Caesars is 775. I think Bet Rivers was 800.
Okay.
So
I like Brandon Cooks at any number, but I have no idea what his situation looks like in Dallas relative to the other wide receiving options.
Yeah, no doubt.
Like, is he a clear cut number 2 option?
God, yes.
Unquestioned number 2.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, they've got terrible weapons outside of CeeDee Lamb and Cooks there. I mean,
remember when Michael Gallup wasn't bad?
Yeah, but now he's. When's the last
nobody.
time? Exactly.
He's nobody.
He's their number 3.
All right, Brandon Cooks. I like that number. All right, let's get on to number 2. Kenny Pickett. Over 3,300 passing yards. You can get this minus 112 on FanDuel. Why Kenny Pickett, Kurt?
Oh my gosh, what's not to love about Pickett this year? Deontay Johnson, right? You've got Freiermuth, the tight end. I don't even know how to pronounce his last name. Pat
Freiermuth.
Freiermuth. And then you've got the other wide receiver, George Pickens, as the other wide receiver. Decent offensive line. Defense is going to be great.
This is his second year?
This is his second year.
Yeah.
If you've watched any of his tape in the preseason, he is throwing darts all over the place.
Oh, really?
So he's got the weapons. Of course, he's got the run game, Najee Harris, who should be better this year with a better offensive line play. Because the offensive line was terrible last year.
There's a lot of Jaylen Warren truthers out there.
There is a lot of Jaylen Warren. But the good thing about Jaylen Warren is he catches passes in the backfield. So he's got a pass-catching running back option. He's got a tight end. He's got 2 great wide receivers, which I also bet Deontay Johnson over 800 receiving yards as well.
Correlation.
So
didn't make the list, audience. You don't have to bet it.
He didn't make the list. Don't have to bet it. But
mine's probably burnt.
Pickett loved the number at 3,300.
All right.
Okay. They do have a lot of fun names on that roster. Like, I'm interested to see what happens with Deontay Johnson on one and Pickens.
Yeah, absolutely.
See what happens between those two.
I thought you meant they were like fun to spell and pronounce.
I was wondering why you laughed at me. I'm like, they got a fun team. What's wrong with that comment?
Fun names like Freiermuth.
Yeah, Freiermuth.
I mean, that is a fun name.
That is a really fun name, yeah.
Pickett's Freiermuth. That's a fun name.
Well, yeah, it's kind of fun because it's Pickett and Pickens, right? Okay.
Pickett, Pickens, and Freiermuth.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
like the Golden Girls.
That's great.
I just snorted. And number 1 on Kurt's Top 5, still available NFL player props. We have Amon-Ra St. Brown over 975 receiving yards. You can get this one minus 112 on Combi. What do you got for us on Amon-Ra St. Brown?
Big boy number.
I know RJ's a fan because he traded for him in our fantasy.
Yeah.
I did trade for him. I am excited about him.
Yeah, so am I. I mean, just what a stud, right? I mean, not only is he the Lions' number 1 weapon, but he just has insane ability to get open, right?
Yeah.
I mean, how many times were you watching the Lions play last year? And it's just Amon St. Brown, 9 catches, 11 catches, 10 catches. And he doesn't put up those big games, right? The 200-yard ones like Chase and Jefferson. He's just the short yardage getter, right? He's the third down guy. He's their over-the-middle guy. This guy is going to catch a lot of balls, and it's going to be for 10 yards, 15 yards, 14 yards, and he's going to catch like 7 or 8 a game.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those possession receivers, and it's just going to add up for him throughout the entire year. And then Goff's a great quarterback. I mean, I think we saw that last year. I wouldn't say he's a superstar, right? He's not going to blow anybody away like Pro Bowl numbers, but he's going to throw for 4,000. So I love the position that the Lions are in on offense with St. Brown, and they got a couple young running backs. And then, of course, didn't they draft a tight end?
Yeah.
Sam Laporta.
Yeah.
Laporta. Yeah, they get to play inside.
Other than St. Brown, though, and another thing to really like is over here is he's going to get the majority of the targets, right?
I think so.
I mean, when you look at the other Detroit Lion wide receivers, who's going to stand out as like a 120 target guy, right? There isn't anybody. So, I mean, is 140 targets for St. Brown out of the question? I don't think so. 100 balls,
I
1,200, 1,300 yards. Sounds pretty
I love when
attainable.
you ask us these questions on the air, and RJ and I both look at each other like,
Well, I
he
mean,
knows we don't do this. Why is he asking us
RJ,
this?
RJ knows his fantasy football. You don't think he's
He
that
doesn't know
greasy?
the projection.
I know.
He knows. All right, let's do this real quick here, Curtis. Here's
Yeah.
what I want. I want to give the audience your top 5 here as a recap so they hear the names. And then
Okay.
I want to ask you about 2 receivers and see if you got any action on them. And then we're going to call it a day.
Okay.
Here's what we got for our top 5. Number 5 was DK Metcalf, over 900 receiving yards. Number 4, Mike Williams, over 799 receiving yards. Brandon Cooks at number 3, over 725 receiving yards. Number 2, Kenny Pickett, over 3,300 receiving yards. And number 1, Amon-Ra St. Brown, over 975 receiving yards. Check your books for the best line and make sure you get a good number on those. Now, Curtis, before we sign off, 2 names I want to ask you about directly. Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave. Did you bet either of them?
I did not.
Oh, really?
I did not.
What do you think of them moving forward?
I mean, I certainly don't hate either of them.
Yeah.
I think they're both great talents. I tried to stay away from high totals, at least totals that I thought were kind of high. I mean, I think Garrett Wilson is, don't quote me on this, but I think him and Olave are both over 1,000 for their prop yards, and that seemed kind of high to bet. I tried for the most part to stay away from the guys that were 1,100, 1,200 on the props.
And you're really going to get a lot of games.
Yeah, you do.
You miss even just a few, and it's like trouble.
Right. You know, those guys are both the number 1 options on their teams. They both have, I mean, one's got Rodgers, one's got Carr.
Right. A lot of hype on both those guys right now.
Absolutely. So, from a fantasy perspective, right? I mean, it's like
Totally.
Totally in on it. From a prop betting, standpoint, I didn't bet either of those
Are
guys.
you going St. Brown over those guys even in a fantasy football league? Or does that close
PPR? Absolutely.
Yeah.
PPR.
The thing that probably separates Olave and St. Brown and Garrett Wilson is probably the touchdowns. Do you really see St. Brown catching as many touchdowns as those other guys? I don't know. Touchdowns are always fluky, right? You know that,
Yeah.
RJ. But Wilson and Olave seem to be like the red zone targets. Right?
I just asked because Garrett Wilson was the guy I traded for. You had traded for St. Brown, but we'd also had some conversation earlier on Olave. So I was just kind of curious, the 3 of them.
Yeah, they're all
where
legit.
They all kind of stand out in your head because they're all kind of ranked somewhere around each other in fantasy as
Are
well.
they?
They're all young guys. They all have the sort of similar strengths and weaknesses associated with them. So
Top 15 wide receivers for sure.
Yeah.
I do also love that when the Bears and Lions play that we get to see St. Brown's parents and the mom switches jerseys because his brother plays for the Bears.
That is awesome.
that is awesome.
That is fantastic.
I'm not even going to try to pronounce his first name. It's Aquamarius. I guess I am going to try Aquamarius or something like that.
Quamarius Brown.
Acrimonious Brown?
Acrimonious Brown, that's it.
There it is.
Acrimonious Brown.
So there's a couple, just real quick, there's a couple other families that do that, right?
Yeah,
so there's
sure.
the Cooks,
And the Kelseys. Of course, everybody knows
the Kelseys, and
Yeah.
there's one other one. Oh, Diggs, right?
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, Stephon and Trayvon Diggs. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's kind of a cool thing.
That is cool.
It's amazing how many families are able to put multiple athletes in professional leagues. That's wild.
That is kind of wild.
Thank you, genetics, for those families. Holy smokes. All right. With that said, we're going to call it today, folks. Hopefully you got some value out of this. If you're following along with us on the squad ride for the college football play, give us a shout. Thanks again to Gianni the Greek. If you play along with any of Kurt's plays on those NFL prop markets, give him a shout. We're excited to be cheering along with those with him as well. So have a great rest of your week. Enjoy the full slate of college football. Good luck on your fantasy football drafts, and we'll talk again soon.
Good juju.
Bye, everyone.
See ya.